Are you making mistakes with women without even knowing it? There are things women feel, react to, and fear that they will never admit. And yet, these hidden weaknesses control so much of what happens in relationships, attraction, and dating. And the craziest part, most men never see it coming. But today that changes. In this video, you're going to learn 10 hidden female weaknesses that most men are blind to, but that emotionally intelligent, high-value men can recognize instantly. These insights are not just for dating, they're for understanding the psychological playbook most women follow, even if they don't realize it. Now let's be clear. This isn't about manipulating women. It's about mastering awareness. It's about seeing what others miss and using that vision to build real connection, with strength, not softness. Most guys keep making the same mistakes because they don't understand what truly drives female behavior. They listen to what women say, instead of watching what they do. That's why they keep getting ghosted, friend-zoned, or played, but not you. Not anymore. We'll expose emotional triggers, the deep need for validation, hidden insecurities, and the psychological patterns that create confusion in most men. But if you're watching this, chances are you're not most men. You're building what we call the irresistible effect, that calm, stoic, grounded energy that makes women feel something they can't explain, that makes them chase you, respect you, and trust you. If you've ever felt like something was off in your dating life but couldn't put your finger on it, this video will reveal exactly why, and more importantly, how to fix it. This is knowledge no one teaches, but every man needs, so stay locked in, don't blink, don't pause. Let's break down the 10 hidden female weaknesses, starting with the ones that create the biggest emotional chaos. Let's start with the first 3 hidden female weaknesses. These are emotional reactions most men never recognize, but they shape nearly every interaction. If you miss these, you're always reacting instead of leading. Weakness number 1. Oversensitivity to uncertainty. Most women are biologically wired to seek security. When a woman doesn't know where she stands with a man, emotionally, socially, or even text-wise, it triggers anxiety. But here's the catch. This anxiety often comes out as distance, mood swings, or even anger. She won't say, "I feel insecure." Instead, she'll test you, criticize something small, or pull away. Men misread this. They think she's losing interest. In reality, her emotions are flaring because she doesn't feel secure. And ironically, the more uncertain a woman feels, the more reactive she becomes. The fix? Controlled unpredictability. Be clear in your intent, but don't overexpose yourself. Let her earn certainty. A man who's emotionally consistent but not emotionally needy calms her storm. That creates an aura of leadership and mystery that pulls her in deeper. Weakness number 2. Craving validation but respecting independence. This is one of the most confusing contradictions for men. Women want validation, attention, compliments, reassurance. But if you give too much of it too soon, she loses respect for you. Why? Because what's easy is seen as less valuable. Validation feels good in the moment, but over time it can make you look like you're trying too hard. The man who constantly flatters her becomes forgettable, even annoying. The irresistible man gives just enough recognition to show he notices her but never chases approval. He validates with intention, not need. This balance of giving without needing, that's high-status energy, and it triggers a deeper kind of attraction. One based on presence, not performance. Think of it like gravity. You don't push it, you just are. Weakness number 3. The envy comparison spiral. Social media has supercharged female comparison. Every woman is subconsciously comparing herself, her body, her life, her man to others. It's exhausting. And often she takes out this internal struggle on the closest person you. You'll notice this in random criticism, mood changes after scrolling, or passive-aggressive behavior. One moment she's affectionate, the next distant or irritable. It seems random, but it's not. These aren't about you. They're about the comparison loop burning in her mind. It creates emotional chaos, and many men respond by overcompensating, defending themselves, or getting frustrated. A stoic man doesn't react. He leads through energy. Instead of defending himself, he holds his emotional ground and gives her space to rebalance. Sometimes that means giving her silence instead of answers. Sometimes it means leaving her alone without pulling away emotionally. That strength is rare and irresistible. These first 3 weaknesses, they're all rooted in emotional volatility. But if you can see them clearly and stay calm, you gain a quiet power that most men never experience. Because when you understand what triggers a woman emotionally, you stop getting pulled into the drama. and start leading from a position of grounded strength. This is the first layer of the irresistible effect, emotional control in the face of chaos. It's what makes women trust you, feel safe around you, and crave your presence without even knowing why. Next up, we'll go even deeper, into psychological triggers women don't even know they're falling into. And don't forget, if you're getting value from this breakdown, hit that subscribe button now. The Irresistible Effect drops weekly wisdom that sharpens your mind and your game. We've explored emotional volatility. Now let's move into deeper territory. Psychological triggers that silently influence female behavior. These are internal patterns women often don't even recognize themselves. But if you can see them clearly, you unlock an advantage that changes everything. Weakness number 4. Craving emotional drama to feel alive. It sounds strange, but many women associate emotional intensity with connection. If things feel too calm, too predictable, or too steady, it doesn't feel real. They equate emotional roller coasters with passion, even if it's toxic. This is why some women pick fights out of nowhere, stir up problems, or chase unavailable men. The chaos creates emotional stimulation. It's not logical, it's chemical. Her nervous system is addicted to the highs and lows. This isn't evil, it's unconscious, but it's powerful, and it can drain the life out of relationships if unchecked. As a man, you can't feed into this. Don't match her chaos, stay grounded. The more unpredictable she becomes, the more stable you need to be. That emotional contrast is what brings her back to center. Eventually, she either grows into your calm, or exits because you won't fuel her fire. Either way, you win. Weakness number 5. Obsession with image and perception. A woman's identity is often tied to how others perceive her, especially in the age of likes, filters, and living her best life. This obsession with image creates pressure to be perfect and admired. There's a fear of being seen as weak, flawed, or average. She may hide insecurities behind makeup, social media stories, or surface-level confidence. But underneath is a constant fear. What if people saw the real me and didn't like it? That fear drives behaviors, attention-seeking, over-editing, comparing, competing, and when she doesn't feel seen in the way she wants, she acts out, she tests you, withdraws, or overperforms. The stoic man doesn't react to this performance. He doesn't get distracted by the image. He pays attention to energy, not aesthetics. When she realizes you're not impressed by the show, but you see her essence, she feels something rare. And that's when true connection can begin. She realizes she can be real and still be desired. Weakness number 6. Insecurity disguised as independence. This is one of the most misunderstood dynamics. Some women will loudly declare how independent they are. They don't need a man, they're strong, they've got it handled. And yes, some truly are secure in their independence, but many use it as armor, as a shield. It's a mask for deep-rooted insecurity and fear of emotional dependence. You'll see it when she's constantly trying to prove her worth, one-up others, or dismiss connection. That "I don't need anyone" attitude is sometimes a defense mechanism against rejection or vulnerability. Here's the key. Never try to fix her insecurity. Don't challenge it, don't agree with it, just observe it. Let her reveal herself over time. Because the man who stays calm in the presence of emotional masks is the one she eventually trusts. And the moment she drops the mask, even for a second, is when you gain real insight into who she is. These 3 weaknesses, emotional drama, obsession with image, and masked insecurity, are deeply psychological. They're less visible but even more powerful than mood swings or validation games. Most men react. High-value men observe. They remain calm, centered, and hard to shake. And that's the game changer. Coming up, the next layer of the female mind, where society's conditioning creates blind spots women rarely confront. Weaknesses 7 to 9 will expose how fear, choice, and emotional chaos sabotage attraction from the inside out. We've broken down the emotional and psychological layers. Now let's talk about social conditioning, external messages and expectations that shape how women behave, especially in relationships. These are blind spots even confident women rarely confront. Weakness number 7, deep fear of rejection masked by bravado. Many women fear rejection just as deeply as men do, sometimes even more. But instead of admitting it, they mask it. That fear shows up as aloofness, sarcasm, or even arrogance. She'll act like she doesn't care, even when she cares a lot. This is why some women ignore texts, cancel plans last minute, or test men with attitude, it's self-protection. She rejects you first, though she doesn't risk being rejected by you. Sometimes she'll play hard to get, not to increase attraction, but to stay emotionally safe. That's the hidden motive. The Stoic man doesn't take it personally. He recognizes the game for what it is. He stays emotionally neutral, and by doing so, he gives her a chance to come forward authentically. By not reacting emotionally, you position yourself as a man who's seen this before, and isn't moved by it. That presence alone flips the dynamic. Weakness number 8, the paradox of choice. Modern women are flooded with options, dating apps, DMs, social circles. There's no shortage of attention. But here's the paradox. The more options she has, the harder it is to choose. Abundance creates confusion. Instead of feeling secure in her choice, she second guesses. What if there's someone taller, richer, more exciting? This overload creates decision paralysis. It also creates a mindset of what if there's someone better. So even if you're a great guy, she might keep you at arm's length, just in case. The key here is to stand out by not competing. Don't chase. Don't sell yourself. Let your presence, your calm, your energy speak for you. The high-value man removes himself from the race, and that's exactly why he gets chosen. He makes her feel like she needs to win his attention, not the other way around. Weakness number 9, lack of long-term emotional strategy. Many women have been taught how to attract, but not how to sustain a relationship. They know how to flirt, seduce, and build chemistry, but not how to build trust, commitment, and peace. They learn how to spark interest, but not how to keep it. This leads to short-term thinking. Is he exciting? Instead of is he reliable? Emotional entertainment over emotional stability. So when the relationship hits a plateau or gets serious, some women panic. They push away the man they actually want because it feels unfamiliar. You'll see this in "I'm not ready," "I need space," or sudden coldness. It's not about you. It's about her lack of strategy for real intimacy. Here's what makes you different. You don't beg for her to stay. You don't negotiate with confusion. You step back, stay grounded, and watch what she does next. If she's emotionally evolved, she meets you where you are. If not, she drifts. And that's your clarity. These social weaknesses aren't visible in her words. They show up in her choices. And most men take them personally. But the emotionally aware man sees the system behind the behavior. He sees the pressure society puts on women, and the blind spots it creates. Coming up next, the final and most powerful female weakness, one rooted in biology and social psychology. Plus, how to use all of this to become a man women can't ignore. We've covered 9 powerful patterns, but the final hidden female weakness is the one most men never see coming. It's rooted in biology, but amplified by modern society. Weakness number 10, hypergamy anxiety. Hypergamy is the natural instinct many women have to seek a partner who is equal to, or preferably higher than, them in status, strength, and security. It's not good or bad, it just is. But in today's world, where women are more independent, successful, and socially empowered than ever, this instinct creates a deep internal conflict. Here's what happens. She wants a man who's ahead of her, but doesn't want to feel beneath him. She desires strength, but doesn't want to feel weak. She wants leadership, but also independence. This tension creates anxiety, hypergamy anxiety, where no man ever feels just right. And if you're not aware of this dynamic, you'll keep adjusting yourself to try to fit her impossible ideal. But the high-value man does the opposite. He doesn't try to qualify himself. He doesn't bend, he simply is. He holds his frame. He lives with purpose, discipline, and confidence. And in doing so, he becomes the man she wants. Not because he plays the game, but because he stands outside of it. She might test him, she might challenge his calm, but deep down, that's what draws her in. That's what separates him from every man trying to impress her. So how do you use this knowledge? You stop chasing, you stop reacting, you start observing, you start choosing yourself. When you see emotional volatility, you stay calm. When you feel tested, you hold your ground. When drama rises, you lower your voice and raise your awareness. This is the irresistible effect in action. It's not about controlling women, it's about mastering yourself. Because the man who controls his emotions ends up controlling the dynamic. This awareness turns you into a man who leads, without fear, without confusion, and without emotional chaos. When you understand these 10 hidden weaknesses, you unlock a cheat code to connection. You stop guessing and start guiding with logic, with peace, and with stoic strength. And this is where most men fall short. They try to manipulate, impress, or chase. You observe, understand, and lead. Coming up next, the final recap, and the shift that turns knowledge into real-world power. You've just uncovered the 10 hidden female weaknesses, emotional, psychological, and social patterns that most men never notice. But awareness is only the first step. The real power comes from integration. Let's recap what you've learned. 1. Oversensitivity to uncertainty. She craves stability, but tests it through unpredictability. 2. Craving validation while respecting independence. Too much attention lowers your value. 3. The envy comparison spiral. She's constantly comparing herself to others and it impacts her mood. 4. Craving emotional drama to feel alive. Stability feels boring if she's used to chaos. 5. Obsession with image and perception. Her performance hides deep insecurity. 6. Insecurity disguised as independence. I don't need a man is often a shield. 7. Fear of rejection masked by bravado. She pulls away before she can be hurt. 8. Paradox of choice. Too many options lead to indecision and emotional burnout. 9. Lack of long-term emotional strategy. She knows how to attract, not how to build. 10. Hypergamy anxiety. She wants a leader but fears being led. These are not flaws. They are patterns, unseen by most but understood by the few who look deeper. Now here's the truth. Most men will hear this and try to use it to manipulate. But you're not most men. You're building something deeper. You're building the irresistible effect. It's not a tactic, it's a presence. The man who embodies this effect doesn't need to impress. He leads by how he is. Grounded, focused, clear, calm. He doesn't explain his value. He becomes the standard. And when a woman comes into his world, she feels something rare. Certainty. She trusts him. Not because he forces her to, but because she can feel that he trusts himself. That's where attraction truly begins. So what's next? Practice presence. When she reacts, you remain calm. When she tests, you observe. When she runs hot or cold, you stay centered. Become the man who doesn't need constant validation, because he validates himself. The man who is emotionally neutral becomes a lighthouse, steady, bright, and impossible to ignore. Not loud, not flashy, just undeniable. And here's the secret most men never hear. Women are not looking for perfection. They're looking for certainty. If this breakdown gave you insight, clarity, or even just a new perspective, subscribe to the Irresistible Effect now. Every week, we drop practical psychology and masculine wisdom to sharpen your awareness and give you the edge in dating, relationships, and personal power. And finally, remember this. You don't have to chase, you don't have to explain, you just have to understand and lead. That's what separates the reactive from the irresistible. And now that you've seen what most men don't, the only question left is, what kind of man will you choose to become? Subscribe, level up, and lead with strength.